It was one of those gray November evenings when the rain feels like it seeps into your bones. I had always been drawn to abandoned buildings, the stories they held, the decay, the way silence felt like it was stretching, waiting for someone to make a mistake. So when I heard about St. Vincent's Hospital, a crumbling relic on the edge of the city, I knew I had to go. The hospital had been closed for decades. Windows were boarded, walls cracked and scarred with graffiti, and rumors of patients who never left had turned it into a local legend for teenagers with too much curiosity. I didn't care for the legends. I wanted the photography. I wanted the eeriness captured in my lens, a frozen moment of what happens when a building is left to rot. I arrived just as the rain began to lighten, a mist rolling along the sidewalks. My friend Liam, an amateur historian with a taste for urban exploration, met me at the chain-link fence surrounding the property. We squeezed through a torn section, feeling the wet mud suck at our boots. The air inside smelled of mildew, rust, and old antiseptic. Every step echoed across tile floors cracked with age, bouncing back as if the building were listening. The lobby was littered with debris, wheelchairs with broken wheels, peeling paint, and overturned filing cabinets. I snapped a few photos, trying to frame the decay artistically, when I heard it, a faint scraping, like metal against metal. Liam said it was probably the wind, but my instincts tightened. We moved to the surgical wing. The door creaked as I pushed it open, revealing the theater where patients had been operated on decades ago. Rusted instruments lay on a tray, organized in some forgotten pattern. The light from our flashlights made them glint in the dark. Then came the whisper. One guttural, wet word. Leave. It wasn't human. At least it didn't sound like it. My heart kicked, muscles tensing. Liam laughed nervously, though I could see the color drain from his face. The hospital had a way of exaggerating sounds, but this was something different. I stepped backward, flashlight sweeping the room. That's when I felt it, a pressure at the back of my neck, like a hand brushing just above the skin. I spun, heart hammering, but there was nothing. The room remained empty. Panic rose in my throat. I should go, I said. Liam nodded, suddenly cooperative. We retraced our steps through corridors that seemed to stretch farther than before. Doors that were once open slammed shut in our memories, or maybe it was the building playing tricks. Every hallway looked the same, cracked tiles, rusted metal, shadows longer than they should be. Then we heard the footsteps behind us, slow, deliberate, echoing just slightly offbeat from our own movements. We turned corners frantically, hoping to see the person, any person, but every turn revealed nothing. The sound was inescapable, following us like a predator, aware of every one of our moves. Finally, we found a side exit. The door was stuck and it took both of us to shove it open. Rain washed over us as we burst into the night, gasping, mud clinging to our clothes. Behind us, the hospital sat silent, its windows black, unbroken, but I could swear I saw a figure at the broken window of the surgical wing, just a shadow, but indistinctly human. Liam didn't see it. When I checked the photos later, most of the shots were exactly what I expected. Peeling paint, rusted instruments, decaying walls, but one image froze my blood. In the corner of the surgical theater, behind the tray of instruments, a pale figure with indistinct features seemed to be watching. I hadn't noticed it when I took the picture. It wasn't there, or at least I thought it wasn't. After that night, I stopped exploring abandoned buildings, but sometimes, when the city lights dim and rain falls lightly, I see movement in the corner of my vision, a shadow stretching across broken walls, and I remember the whisper, wet and guttural, repeating endlessly in my head, "Leave." The hospital hasn't changed, and somehow I know it's still waiting. My name is Ember, and I live in a small suburban neighborhood in southern Quebec. I like it here. Most of the residents know each other, which makes the streets feel safe, almost cozy. But I learned that even the quietest places can hide the most unsettling experiences. It was a February afternoon, cold but bright. Snow had fallen overnight, covering the forest trails near my home with a soft white blanket. I decided to take my dog, Monty, a Rottweiler Husky mix, on our usual walk. Monty's energy never failed to make me smile. As soon as we turned the corner from our street toward the forest entrance, he bolted, pulling the leash from my hand. I laughed, letting him run freely. The forest was silent except for the crunch of snow under my boots and Monty's excited panting. Most people had already finished their walks. Boot prints and faint yellow stains dotted the path, evidence of morning hikers and dogs. I followed one of the main trails for about 30 minutes, enjoying the peace. That's when I reached a fork I hadn't taken before. One path was untouched, the snow pristine. Feeling slightly adventurous, I veered left. The trail led to a clearing, sunlight glinting off the snow in a dazzling pattern. I pulled out my binoculars, eager to spot birds. As I scanned the tree line, I noticed something unusual, a blue tarp covering what looked like a makeshift shelter. My heart skipped. Who could be out here? I debated investigating, but decided against it. Darkness was approaching, and I wanted to get home before the sun disappeared completely. Monty ran ahead as usual, but something was off. His ears twitched constantly, his nose sniffing the air aggressively. I looked down and froze. A set of footprints, large, wide, clearly not mine, cut across the path. Confused, I bent down to compare sizes. Whoever had passed must have been behind me when I was distracted with the binoculars. My mind tried to rationalize it, but unease settled deep in my chest. The sun was setting rapidly, the forest growing darker. Monty stopped suddenly and barked. I turned, and that's when I saw him. A man, at least 6'4", dressed in a white camo jacket and charcoal snow pants, standing only a meter away. His hands were in his pockets. He didn't move toward me, but he muttered something I couldn't hear. Darkness and my hearing disability made understanding impossible. My first thought was panic, but I tried to communicate that I couldn't hear, waving my hands and shaking my head. Without another word, I turned and began walking back toward home. Monty stayed alert, glancing between me and the man. Every shadow in the forest now seemed heavier, almost alive. I tried not to think about the man, focusing instead on the crunch of snow beneath my boots. By the time I reached my house, it was completely dark. I followed my usual evening routine, Monty at my side, brushing off the cold and snow. Around 3 a.m., I woke to Monty licking my hand. That's when I noticed a message on my phone from a neighbor. "Everything okay? Monty's been barking like crazy." Confused, I stumbled downstairs. The motion sensor light flicked on, illuminating my backyard. My stomach sank. There he was, the man from the forest, standing near the patio, staring at the house. He didn't move toward me, he just watched. My mind raced. I grabbed my phone and texted 911, then ran upstairs, pulling Monty with me. I retrieved the machete I kept under my bed and sat, waiting, heart pounding, ears straining for the slightest sound. Minutes dragged into eternity. Monty barked violently at the bedroom door. Shadows shifted under the nightlight. I was sure he was about to break in. My training in martial arts told me the best move was to stay calm, hide, and wait. I gripped the machete tightly, my hands trembling. Eventually, the police arrived. They searched the property. The patio glass was shattered, and the gate to the backyard, which led directly to the forest, had been left open. But nothing else was missing. They suspected the man retreated into the trees, disappearing into the darkness. I stayed with a family friend for a few days while the house was repaired. The neighborhood never felt the same again. Every forest path, every shadow outside my window reminded me of that night. I stopped taking shortcuts through the woods. I stuck to streets, lit and familiar, never letting Monty off leash far from the house. Even now, the memory lingers. The snow outside makes me remember the footprints that didn't belong to anyone I knew. I imagine him still in those woods, waiting silently, watching for the next person foolish enough to wander too far from safety. My once beloved forest now feels alive with danger. Monty and I are cautious, the illusion of safety shattered, replaced by vigilance, fear, and a knowledge that some things in life are just beyond understanding. It was 2021, dead of winter, and I was finally done with a 3-hour Zoom work meeting. I had promised myself I'd leave early for my family upstate, but delays at work meant I wouldn't arrive until long after dinner had started. Still, I needed to go. My parents were hosting, and the roads weren't supposed to be too bad. I filled 2 travel mugs with coffee, hoping it would keep me alert, and shoved my coat and gloves in the car. The moment I stepped outside, I realized the drive would be worse than expected. Snow had piled at least 2 feet high along the roads, and the wind whipped so fiercely I had to brace myself against it. Visibility was low, and the streets looked deserted. My car was an old Hyundai, no anti-lock brakes, no winter tires, just me, caffeine, and nerves. I started slowly, 25 miles per hour on residential roads, praying the roads were passable. By the time I reached the highway, I cautiously increased my speed. The snow made the asphalt nearly invisible, and the headlights of my car cut through a foggy white haze. For a while, everything seemed fine. I was alone, the radio off, just the rhythmic hum of tires on snow. But as I drove, I started noticing something unusual. Footprints. Fresh, large, human-like prints, partially covered by snow, lining the sides of the road. I cursed under my breath. Probably someone walking home from a stranded car, I told myself, but my gut tightened. Something didn't feel right. Halfway up the highway, past a curve that cut through dense forest, I saw it. A figure standing at the roadside, motionless. The snow and fog obscured details, but I could tell it was tall, wearing a dark coat, possibly a hood. I instinctively slowed, the tires crunching over snow and ice. My pulse was accelerating. I glanced in the rearview mirror. Nothing. The figure didn't move. I tried to rationalize it, a lost hiker, someone trying to flag down a car. But the longer I drove, the more I noticed them. At every curve, every stretch of highway, I caught glimpses in the fog. Always standing, always watching, never moving toward the road. I passed a deserted rest stop. Flickering lights barely illuminated the lot, but I could swear I saw another figure there. Snow fell steadily, muffling sounds, yet I could hear footsteps crunching faintly behind my car. I convinced myself it was the wind, the snow, my imagination, but the uneasy feeling wouldn't leave. By midnight, the snowstorm had worsened. Roads were nearly impassable. I had to drive at 30 miles per hour max, even on the straightaways. I was exhausted, caffeine long worn off. Every shadow on the road made me flinch. Then it happened. A large object hit the passenger side window. I yelped and braked instinctively, spinning the wheel slightly. The snow obscured everything, but I caught a fleeting glimpse of a hand, pale, gloved,
slamming against glass. My heart pounded. I realized this was no lost hiker. I parked on the side, hazard lights flashing. I grabbed the 9mm from the glove compartment, shaking. I scanned the surrounding woods with my flashlight, snow swirling violently. There, just beyond the tree line, I saw tracks, boot prints circling my car, then vanishing into the forest, and blood. Small drops at first, then larger, leading to something I couldn't identify. I followed the trail cautiously, flashlight in one hand, gun in the other. Snow crunched beneath my boots, each step echoing in the still night. Ahead, I saw a dark mass lying in the snow. Relief and horror collided. I approached, expecting a human, but it wasn't. A deer, decapitated, stomach torn open. My stomach churned, heart racing. Whoever was out here had left it as a message or a warning. I stepped back toward the car, feeling vulnerable, exposed, and then I saw it. The deer's head, sitting upright on the passenger seat, as if looking straight at me. My mind went blank. I jumped into the driver's seat, locking doors and trembling. My hands barely controlled the steering wheel as I reversed violently onto the highway, fleeing the scene. Minutes later, headlights appeared in the distance. My dad, thankfully, driving to meet me. I waved frantically, still gripping the gun. He stopped, confusion etched on his face. I jumped into the passenger seat, blurting everything in rapid succession. The snow, the tracks, the blood, the deer, the figure. He stared at me in disbelief. We returned together. The footprints remained. The deer corpse was gone, head included, only a dark stain on the snow where it had been. My dad finally believed me when he saw the marks. The tow truck arrived, taking my car away. The police never found the person nor the deer, but they filed a report. To this day, I don't know who or what was on that highway that night. The isolation of the snowy road, the strange footprints, and the chilling display of the deer still haunt me. Every winter since, I avoid driving that route at night, always double-checking locks, always imagining shadows lurking just beyond the trees. Some things aren't meant to be understood. Some warnings come in ways too grotesque to forget. That night on the snowy highway, I learned the hard way that isolation isn't just peaceful, it can be deadly.